Top up time. G'day, Glenn. Murky
Morning,
day
Mike.
at
Morning,
Kensington
punters.
today. How's
Can't
the
wait to
weather
get
out your way?
Kensington. Miserable. Not too gloomy, that's all. Sprinkly. Went for a walk this morning, sprinkly.
Yeah. And look, that's what we can expect for today. As I mentioned on the previous show yesterday, the wind not really a factor. Obviously, there is rain around. I think that the track is pretty much where it is and probably where it stay, but we'll get a better guide by race one, where, of course, your 5-4 chance has been 5-2 into 7-4, Glenn. That I speak of number 9.
Yeah,
4 moves
380
ahead.
yesterday afternoon was available on the fair, which I sort of thought was good pricing. And yeah, and Mura's out the gates. So that's a bit of help there from the top-up show. Look at that, 740, 760 Mura. Was an equal favourite yesterday.
Indeed. And so the favourites have switched around there. Lorellin's now second pick and 4 moves ahead, who is the Sergeant debutante that's got the wow trial against the older horses over the extended distance, which seems important for the 1150, which is a long distance for these 2-year-olds at this stage of the season. But obviously you'll be out there having a look at casting your eye over these to see if...
Can't wait to watch them parade, and still pretty keen on 9 there.
Yeah, well, it's the key horse, isn't it? Let's get on to the second, which is a highway that's been quite cut about by scratchings. The favourite remains in the race, but shade of odds on fixed. That's number 3, Mother's Mercy. Not a lot happening on the fair at this stage. I guess they may wait to see what happens in race 1 before.
Interesting there that the second favourite's probably going to be Richard Sameless, and at this stage there's no dollars matched against it either way.
Yeah, a little sprinkling of money
Unusual.
for Costas. Well, it's just early doors, I suppose, and it's a complex race with a relatively exciting favourite. But you made the point on the show yesterday that its pedigree is quite important for how damp the ground is today.
I think so. Yeah, if we get showers before this race, I'll be against it, and otherwise I'll tread warily because I don't know when fucking Gord's that in such a declare mode with horses, they win races.
Yeah, he can get them right, and I guess he represents the modern breed of favourite punter that gets quite wound up about these style of horses, which us old timers are looking at, going, oh, I don't know about this.
Well, yeah, he's just trying to find the boogeyman in the bet, whereas someone like Gorgeous says, well, just wins, and then you put your money on it, you collect, and if you don't collect, we get on to the next one, it'll just win. So.
Yeah, look, we've had a lot to say about Massara over the years, about what an underachiever he is with the quality of stock he gets. Do you think he's tracking any better at the moment?
About the same, mate.
And look, probably the second pick in this race, Chewy 2. You mentioned Rich and Shameless being the alternative second pick, but Chewy 2 comes out of the same line as Mother's Mercy and may actually be able to turn the tables given the state of the ground today. Anyway, watch this space. Not a lot of insight at this stage, but the staying race, Parry Sound, the overnight firmer, into 340 fixed and most matched on the fair at this stage. Sky Max has been a bit easy, and obviously Harpo Marx is the other one in the betting. It promises to be a dawdling race, which will have some impact on how things play out. But I don't think anything has really changed since we spoke about this race yesterday, Glenn.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they're quite boring to watch these races, but if you're on the one hitting the lead at the 50 and you're about to collect, it's not so boring then. But just go round and round. All
right. Well, one of the day's features is this race 4, which has been left intact, and it's a race that throws up a number of different form lines. Waller's got 3 runners in the race of the 8. And Private Eye is looking for a pick. Well, it has got a picket fence, but I thought with the rider change and the alley change represented some sort of risk in this race. Nonetheless, Gord was relatively bullish. I'm
surprised never eight around that $8 range, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems a takeable price given that it's Gerald Ryan early prep.
And I'm warming to your selection overnight, number 10 a little bit.
My Ruby comes off the Canterbury night, got back in a slowly run race and found the line. Seems an improver second up, but as I say, it's very hard to line these horses up. We've also got the Gaybot big winner on this track, like really zoomed away from them late. They were sort of crawling home, but up in distance here and yet somewhat despised.
Yeah, somewhat despised. Beautiful draw for Barrier 11.
It looks a good betting race. And speaking of the riders, of course, your the riders you love to bag just cleaned up last night. Kath rode a winner, Reagan Bayliss rode a winner, and Clippo, the other Hong Kong man, rode 2.
Yeah, and I was interested to hear Clippo's one of his conversations after one. He said he's gotten a bit more physical training and worked hard at getting fitter, and he's employed someone to help him with the form. So they're all proactive, good things. I don't understand why Clippo's not a better rider than his results show, because he's a good balanced rider.
Yeah,
I think training up for him would be the best thing in the world.
Yeah, but I think you've made the comment that he's too nice. Doesn't have the killer instinct.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I'll talk about it Monday. Gee, there was a killer instinct. That Alicia Collar, what a great rider she is. She ran 5th during the week, Mark, on a horse which was never ever going to win. And when the evens chance was underneath around the back, she just said, "You are not getting out." Of course, I've laid the evens. It got beaten ahead, and that move by her just being competitive won me money. So
yeah, she is one of your faves.
Oh, absolute freak.
Okay, the 1550 metre open, and there is a bit of a set against Edison, who came into odds on with the scratchings, but Passage of Time, Soldier of Love, and to a lesser extent, well, Almahaha was always well in the betting, but Passage of Time and Soldier of Love fixed odds movers here. 5,000 matched on Edison at the moment. There appears to be some resistance, which you thought was fair enough given his quote in this race. I mean,
I was just
Is it because he's exposed? He's like he shouldn't be improving at this stage. He's just sort of very consistent, honest horse. There it is. But the collection.
I haven't got much comment there, Mark. There it is.
Yeah, interesting that
every one of them. Sorry, mate. Every one of them looks very beatable, except for Edison.
Yes, who looks to make his own luck and seems hard to argue against, but there is that resistance there. Interesting that Chris scratched Sambro and left order again, who's first up over 1550 in. He hasn't got much of a first up record, but this is Chris's first up run with him. So he's an interesting runner because he just brings something different to this race, but albeit probably just going out the back, and who knows. Race 6, 1300, and this race has changed quite a has a different complexion about it now, because they scratched the 3 leaders. So Oakfield and Partners and Peyton Place all came out. The mover in the race is Green into 750 fixed, and as you can see, Smart Image is a good bit longer given the scratchings than he was yesterday.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Good horse, Smart Image, top horse.
Yeah, well,
and nothing to do there to win. Green only has to not be a champion, and Smart Image will win. And Green could be a great horse too. So. Interesting race.
Race 7 is the short course, and yet again another small field, because that's what we ended up with. Not much activity fixed odds, and as far as the fair is concerned, likewise at this stage.
Become a bit ho-hum with the scratchings, can't it, Mark?
Yeah, it can be. It can be. De Grauwen, obviously an interesting resumer today, resuming off the picket fence that Joe Pride got with her in her first preparation with him last time in. Has trialled well enough, but does bump into a seasoned Our Bellagio miss. And Buck and Beauty is going to ask the question of De Grauwen here. So still an interesting race, and obviously an important parade for the favourite there.
Looking forward to seeing it.
The penultimate, well, we're down to 5 here because Chris couldn't let Betcha Fly and run around, and John O'Shea had to pull out Bergen. So this seems to me the short price of the day. Snowfire coming off the I Am Vinny race.
Well, I think we said that in the previous show. We said we're taking the field and the quaddies. Is this the race we took the field?
Yep. So I realised that the map suggests that Snowfire just gets to the lead here and makes all. But I would say that Badush goes forward today, and Cisco Bay doesn't settle back. So you got the Wallop here to settle at the back of the field, and Badush and Cisco Bay. Cisco Bay's got a bit of something about him in his last start, which he sort of overcame difficulties and overachieved. And Badush, we saw him last preparation on this track be very effective and be very effective second up. I know that his first up run was meh, but I just think this is an interesting favourite at even money to go around at this stage.
My top pick of the race is Cisco Bay, man. Like it a lot. I think at around $5, it's a bet all day.
And the Nightcap is the mare's race, where Tiny is the overnight or the morning firmer here into 370 fixed. Not much activity on the fair. Selena Dreaming's obviously Huey off, Reagan Bayless on, and perhaps drawn a little too close to the inside for the last race at Kenzo, which tends to be a race where you would want to be running line. But we'll wait and see on that, obviously. There are bits and pieces outside the two promising lightly raced resuming winners. I'd speak of 5 and 12. The other mares are sort of capable, but perhaps it seems like it's number 5's race to lose, and circumstances.
Yeah, listening to Reagan last night, they were talking about his rides tomorrow, and he was salivating over the fact that he's riding Selena's Dreaming tomorrow. So he was terribly excited. So,
as he should be.
As he should be. Nice horse.
All right. Well, the Goldies that are still waiting for Jeff's 2-year-old pedigree assessments, apparently they're on their way when Jeff can overcome his power issues this morning. Hard Copy Man has not put his hand up, so I don't know what's happened there, but it seems like he might be away or
this time of year.
Nonetheless, Dave Dwyer's open for business, so any of you ranters who have never opened an account with Dave Dwyer, chuck $500 in and you will get your month's rant sub remitted to you. And as far as your rant sub is concerned, if you don't have a rant sub, you should have a rant sub, because we're back bigger than ever this year. And watch this space. Towards the end of the month, we'll have something more to say. But nonetheless, you should be...
Which I don't even know about.
Trying us out. Well, who knows what you've got planned, Glenn? Because of course, your new toy is
it's exhausting. It's exhausting, but it's fantastic.
Speaking of ratings to win. Yeah. So Gord's about to be kitted up with ratings to win. Glenn is on the page, and all of us have been given all the toys to play with as far as ratings to win is concerned. So watch this. It only
took me 60 years on the planet to become a nerd, so I'm loving it.
There you go. As I say, if you don't have a rant sub, you should at least try us, because the first 2 weeks are free, and there is no obligation. You just put your details in and you're free to can it whenever you like. But I'd be surprised if you did, because there's a lot of content, a lot of information, and you're mad not to be with us. So come on board if you've not tried us before. Meanwhile, we'll be out at Kensington. Well, Glenn will be out at Kensington. I'll be in the office, and we hope that you can get away with something today, because it looks an interesting program, albeit rain affected and a little bit tiny. But that's perhaps the segue. That's the night. It's the last runner in the Nightcap. So we'll see you for a rant on Monday. Hopefully we've got some good words to offer on that account. Thanks for that, Glenn.
See you, Mark. Thanks, guys.